Imagine a team so in sync, so almost telepathic that the ball seemed to have its own mind. A team that didn't just play football, they redefined it. Between 2008 and 2012, Pep Guardiola's Barcelona didn't just win trophies, they painted football like a masterpiece. But what made them truly legendary? Was it talent, tactics, or something far deeper? Barcelona's golden era wasn't born overnight. It was meticulously crafted. Guardiola, a former player with a mind for strategy, became the architect of a vision that would shake the footballing world. This wasn't just a team, it was a philosophy, a blueprint for excellence. Pep arrived in 2008 at a club with immense history and immense expectation. Some questioned whether a relatively untested manager could handle the weight of Barcelona's legacy. But Pep was not interested in fear or doubt. He saw potential, a canvas on which he could paint something extraordinary. He didn't just want to win, he wanted to revolutionize. From the very first day, he instilled a culture where every detail mattered. Players weren't just executing instructions, they were thinking, reacting, creating. Training sessions were intense, precise, almost surgical. But Pep's genius lay not only in the drills or tactics, but in the trust he placed in his players. He gave them freedom within a structure, and in that space, they flourished. Every player had a role, yet no role was rigid. Xavi, the metronome of the midfield, orchestrated play with an almost hypnotic intelligence. Iniesta, graceful and unpredictable, carried the ball like poetry in motion. Sergio Busquets, quiet but indispensable, intercepted, passed, and dictated tempo with understated brilliance. And then there was Messi, the genius whose talent seemed limitless, yet who flourished most in this system of harmony. Barcelona's style, tiki-taka, was more than a strategy, it was a philosophy. Possession was not an end in itself, it was a statement, a declaration that the team could control every moment of the game, suffocate opponents with intelligence, and create opportunities that were inevitable rather than accidental. Every pass, every run, every movement was purposeful. The ball was never just moving, it was telling a story. But to understand Barcelona's brilliance, we must also understand the discipline behind it. The pressing, the positioning, the awareness of teammates' movements. Every player knew exactly where to be, what to do, and when to act. It was a system built on minute detail, repetition, and trust. And yet, despite the structure, it never felt mechanical. On the pitch, it was alive, fluid, and breathtaking. Even legends face storms. The early days weren't flawless. Pep experimented, adapted, and sometimes faced criticism. Fans, media, and pundits questioned whether his ideas were too radical, whether possession football could win against the best in Europe. But Pep's vision never wavered. Every defeat was a lesson, every challenge a chance to refine the masterpiece. And the results? Extraordinary. In Pep's first season, Barcelona dominated La Liga and stunned Europe. They lifted 3 La Liga titles in 4 years, 2 Champions League trophies, and an unbeaten domestic season, a feat almost unimaginable in modern football. Records were shattered, history rewritten, not because they were perfect, but because they were relentless, united, and unwavering in pursuit of a shared dream. The soul of this team, however, was not just its tactics, it was its people. Carles Puyol, captain and heart of the defense, led not just with skill, but with courage and example. Dani Alves, energetic and unrelenting, redefined the role of the fullback. Gerard Piqué brought composure and intelligence to the backline. And then there was Messi, the genius whose talent seemed limitless, yet who flourished most in this system of harmony. Individually, they were extraordinary. Together, they were immortal. It was a living example of what happens when talent, vision, and discipline align. It was a demonstration that a team can be far greater than the sum of its parts when every individual commits to a shared purpose. Barcelona didn't just win trophies, they influenced the world of football. Managers studied Guardiola's approach, teams tried to replicate the tiki-taka style, and a generation of players grew up wanting to emulate the harmony and intelligence of this team. They left a legacy not only in silverware, but in philosophy. Football could be beautiful, intelligent, and disciplined, and yet also free, creative, and joyful. Pep's Barcelona teaches us lessons that go beyond the football pitch. Genius is not born from talent alone. It is born from a shared vision, relentless discipline, and unwavering trust. It shows us that when people unite under a common goal, when they believe in a shared dream, they can achieve feats that once seemed impossible. Mountains can be moved, limits can be broken, and history can be rewritten. So the lesson is simple but powerful. Dream together, work together, and greatness will follow. Cherish the process, embrace discipline, trust in each other, and never settle for what is easy. Because when vision meets passion, when individual brilliance is guided by collective purpose, legends are made. And that, perhaps, is the greatest legacy of Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. They remind us that extraordinary achievement is not just about talent, it is about harmony, trust, and the courage to believe in a shared dream.
Subscribe for more.